Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 2-game play-in special on Wednesday. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome to my channel. Again, I make content for Draftkings, for NBA Top Shot, and for Prize Picks. The sponsor of this video, guys, is Roast Umber. They are a coffee company located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They have fantastic coffee, cold brew. If you guys want to give it a try, you can use my code DKDFS for 20% off your order. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. And if you guys are looking for premium content, I do offer that on patreon.com. A couple different packages. I do have a USFL package, which I've been looking into stuff for the last few days. So super, super excited for that. Again, more info is linked down below. But all right, so before we talk about this 2-game slate, we have to rehash tonight. You would think coaches would stop being idiots when the regular season ends. No way. No way. Absolutely idiotic decisions made in that first game. We already know Steve Nash is an awful, awful coach. Awful coach. JB Bickerstaff. Are you serious with those rotations, bro? Are you serious? His 2 best defenders, Isaac Okoro, Lamar Stevens. You know, Mobley, good defender too, but basically the 2 outside of Mobley, 2 best defenders, Lamar Stevens, Isaac Okoro. Barely play him. But just, you know, Swiss cheese on the defensive end. Lauri Markkanen and Kevin Love. Cedi Osman plays no defense. Let's play him huge. How about this? The absolute dust of Rajon Rondo? 30 minutes. Cleveland deserved to lose that game. Those awful decisions. Awful. By JB Bickerstaff. So I was actually just so pissed. I had to just turn off the game and just was digging into USFL stuff because I just couldn't watch it anymore. And then the Cavs are basically just playing a zone and they just don't defend Bruce Brown. I was like, all right, I told everyone on Patreon, I was like, Bruce Brown, clearly you play him in cash games. He stands out as a great option in the mid-range. I'm going to take a stand and fade Bruce Brown because if massive chalk Bruce Brown kills me, then I'm dead. And they just didn't defend Bruce Brown. And he played 52 minutes, had 5 blocks and 5 steals. Just the whole offense, Bruce Brown, because they just don't cover him. They just doubled Kyrie and KD, just leave Bruce Brown open the entire game. So basically, I just have to watch that game. Bruce Brown with no one defending him, just basically running the offense. Just incredible pain. Goran Dragic, minutes monitored. Every time I see that, I fade someone, they play more minutes than they usually do. Goran Dragic, I'm like, all right, I'm finally not going to buy into the minutes monitored BS. That means nothing. Plays like 5 minutes. Again, Lamar Stevens, their best defender, was actually playing well. DNP in the second half, played like 5 minutes too. But Rondo and Cedi Osman, complete dust on the defensive end. Those guys, they got to play 30 minutes. But Lamar Stevens, who, you know, can actually defend KD, no way. Barely plays him in Okoro. Just awful decisions. Cleveland, again, I'm very happy they lost the game. They deserved it for those awful, awful coaching decisions. But, yeah, so I had to make a pivot once we, you know, obviously once I had Dragic, low-owned Dragic and Lamar Stevens combined for 15. It's not like they were playing bad on offense. They just barely played. I think those 2 combined for 15 minutes. Unbelievable stuff. But yeah, so I pivoted off of Cat and Vanderbilt to Cat was awful in the first half. I had to get off chalk Vanderbilt because, again, if you look bad in the first game, you got to make some pivots to try to salvage. So what I did is I went to a low-owned Zubac and Anthony Edwards. Can we talk about this too? Low-owned Zubac, 4th foul, right out of the game. But massive, and I mean massive chalk, Bruce Brown. 2 quick fouls in the first quarter? No way. Steve Nash? No. He's staying in the game. Picks up his 4th pretty early in the third quarter? No way. Nah, he's staying in. He sets for like 1 minute, comes right back in, basically plays the entire second half for massive chalk Bruce Brown. You can tell I'm in incredible pain, guys. But yeah, so that's it for the look back. I'm not going to cash most likely. I mean, I did have Claxton who went off, but unless Anthony Edwards and Zubac absolutely smash in the fourth quarter, I'm drawing dead basically because just awful coaching and barely playing Lamar Stevens, one of their best defenders. Dragic, I hate Steve Nash. You know that. All right, so enough ranting there. Let's move on to this 2-game slate. We'll start off on the Charlotte side. So basically, this 2-game slate, there's going to be no defense played. All 4 of these teams are awful in the defensive end. So it should be a pretty high-scoring 2-game slate. But yeah, back to LaMelo, 9.7K. I expect him to play close to 40 minutes in a basically do-or-die game here. So I absolutely love LaMelo, the guy with the highest floor and highest ceiling, in my opinion. Throughout the regular season, at times, they would bench him. If they bench LaMelo in a do-or-die game, they have to fire the coach on the spot. And I'm not kidding, right? If I see any antics like that of LaMelo getting limited minutes, because just no. Play him 40 minutes or get fired. But yeah, Bridges, Rozier, they're going to play huge minutes too. There's been if you look at Charlotte, there's been just so many blowouts. Blowout. Like the last 5 or 6 games have been blowouts. But I expect, LaMelo, Bridges, Rozier all to push for about 40 minutes. So I think all 3 look pretty good. Again, LaMelo being my favorite option. Bridges and Rozier have a similar ceiling. They have a little bit of a lower floor. But these are 2 guys that have 50-plus fantasy point upside as well, and they're both around 7K. So the main 3 guys I like quite a bit here for Charlotte. As far as the secondary plays go, Washington, I would assume, plays around 30 minutes. He's kind of just there. He'll probably get around 25 fantasy points. It's just fine. I do think Plumlee's a fair value play. Against Atlanta, a bigger team with either Capella or Okongwu out there, I would expect around 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. There's times where Plumlee pushes for mid-20s minutes, so I think he's a decent value play. Off the bench, you have Oubre, you have McDaniels, Martin, Harrell. So Harrell, if I knew he was going to play the backup 5 and play around 20 minutes, I would really, really like him. He's a good point per minute guy. However, there's been a couple games where he's gotten DNP, so he's a high-risk play because there's a chance he doesn't play. But if he does see the court and plays 15 minutes, I think he's going to have a pretty good game for his price. So I have interest in Harrell. I just don't know for sure if he's going to be in the rotation. Other options like Oubre, McDaniels, Martin. I think Oubre is my preferred option of the bunch. He has shooting guard, small forward eligibility. And there's been a lot of blowouts. Minutes-wise, I think he gets around 20, and he's the most productive of the bunch. So I think he would be the guy of that grouping I'd be the most willing to take a shot on. On the Atlanta side, so pretty easy team to talk about without John Collins. Trae Young, 10-6, I think stands out as a good spend up. Great spot. Going to play about 40 minutes. Clearly their go-to guy. So, yeah, Trae looks good. I like Capella as well at 6.9. He should play around 30 minutes. He should be able to absolutely destroy Charlotte on the glass. So, I do like Capella. Obviously, without John Collins, he gets a pretty significant bump. And these secondary options look pretty good, too. So, Bogdan Bogdanovic is the guy that has the highest ceiling. Minutes-wise for him, I would assume he plays 30 to 35. So I like Bogdan quite a bit. I think he's too cheap. He also has shooting guard, small forward eligibility, which is nice. And then this grouping of Gallinari, Herter, Hunter all look okay. I expect all 3 to play 30 to 35 minutes as well. Gallinari has clearly shown a ceiling. We've seen some big games from Herter when he can get hot, right? And we've seen a couple big games from Hunter as well. So I think all these guys look pretty good for the wings in Gallinari, Herter, and Hunter. And I think Okongwu is a pretty safe value play. He's going to play the backup 5. He's going to play somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. So, sure, sign me up for that. I think that's totally fine. DeLon Wright should play the backup point guard role at 3.2K. I don't think it will be necessary in the slate, but he's going to be in the rotation for sure. So, he's playable. Again, I don't think we have to go there, but he's really the only other bench guy I would consider. TLC might play a little bit, not enough for me to consider him. All right, so San Antonio and New Orleans. DeJounte Murray at 10.8K. I think he stands out as one of the best bet-ups in the slate. He's going to play about 40 minutes. He can do everything for the team. And like I said, the Pelicans don't play much defense. So Murray looks great. The secondary options here for the Spurs all look pretty similar, like Keldon, Pirtle, and Vassell. I don't really have any strong takes in these guys. Keldon's been playing pretty consistent basketball of late, been averaging around like 35-ish fancy points. So, again, it's fine. Pirtle might play a little bit more since it's like a playoff game. Maybe we get like mid-30s minutes from Pirtle, who we know has a ceiling. And then Vassell at 6K feels a little bit pricey, but he's a guy that, still has a ceiling, can knock down his shot. So they all just look pretty similar to me. Definitely wouldn't play Trey Jones with Murray back. He's too pricey. Josh Richardson at 4.6, I think is a fair value. Kind of know what we're getting out of him. He should play mid-20s minutes. He's a decent defender. He's a guy that kind of do everything for the team. So fair value play. Zach Collins will play the backup 5. If you think Pirtle plays a little bit more, then it's going to be a little bit harder to prioritize Collins. If you think Pirtle huddles around or stays around 30 minutes, then yeah, you can get to Zach Collins, who'll play the backup 5 and does have that power forward eligibility and is a good point per minute guy. Walker and Primo should also be in the rotation. Primo at 3.4, I mean, most likely sees mid-20s minutes. He's viable, but not a great point per minute guy. Lonnie Walker, a little bit more productive, but his minutes are a little bit more in question coming off the bench. And then on the Pelicans side, so Ingram's missed last couple games due to that hamstring, but he's expected to play, so we'll see how many minutes he can play. Of the big three of CJ, JV, and Ingram, I think all three look pretty similar. I will say I think my favorite is Jonas Valanciunas. I think recency bias in some of these games might lower his ownership. A lot of blowouts. This game he had 5 fouls in 6 minutes. Could care less that happened. Right, you don't have to go back too far to see that his minutes have been extended. The Spurs are a big team with either Pirtle or Collins out there, so expect like 36 to 38 minutes from Jonas Valanciunas. I think he stands out as a good option. And then McCollum and Ingram both look okay. I think McCollum a little bit safer because he's not dealing with an injury. He'll do a lot of the point guard duties. Ingram is productive when he's on the court, but the question is how many minutes he can play with that hamstring. If you think he's fully healthy and it's going to play like 40 minutes, then go for it, right? It is a little bit concerning, though, that hamstring that he missed the last couple games due to it. So value-wise in the Pelicans, Jackson Hayes should play 25 to 30 minutes. I don't love the price point on him. Hernan Gomez, I don't think will be in the rotation in this game. Or if he is, he'll barely play. So don't think we have to go to Hernan Gomez. Herbert Jones will play big minutes for this team. He'll probably play like low to mid-30s minutes. However, he's more out there for his defense. So I guess he's somewhat safe because of the minutes. But again, don't expect a lot from him. And then Alvarado probably barely plays. Like, he's productive when he's on the court, but with CJ and Graham both healthy and Ingram healthy, he probably only plays around like 10-ish minutes. Graham should see 15 to 20 minutes on the bench. It's playable at 3.9. I don't love it. Don't hate it. I do think you see a little bit of Trey Murphy, maybe like 15 or so minutes. Viable. He's a good scorer, but also has a very low floor. He's not hitting a shot. So I think my favorite play off the bench, though, is Larry Nance, who I actually expect to play the backup 5. I don't think Hernan Gomez plays in this game. I think you get backup 5 Larry Nance. And if that's the case, he's a guy that we know can kind of do everything for the team. I think plays around 20 minutes. I think Nance probably my preferred value play off the bench here for the Pelicans. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the 2-game slate. Again, don't go crazy on these smaller slates, but will be fun to watch, obviously, basically playoff basketball. So yeah, guys, again, that's going to do it. If you do enjoy the YouTube videos, just make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you did enjoy the live stream today with Noah, just let me know in the comment section down below. Definitely down to do more of those in the future. But appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you all in the next video.